you see Shiffrin's win this past week?
That's crazy. I didn't know anything about this person, and now I know way too much.
Yeah, Mikaela Shiffrin. It was an incredible slalom run.
Yeah.
So,
She is the winningest skier in World Cup history amongst men and women. Isn't that
how
crazy?
old is she? How old is she?
She's not even 30.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she is killing it. 104th win, World Cup win.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So yeah, that was pretty fun to watch. We got that coming up. We're going to talk about the Men's World Cup coming up, and we got some good information for you as far as new habitability rules if you are a landlord for long-term rental properties or rental properties in general in Colorado. So things you ought to know. That coming up soon.
Ever dreamed of living in the heart of the Colorado mountains? Join me, Matt Dayton, Breckenridge native, Olympian, and mountain real estate expert. Here on the Ski Summit Show, we dive into everything you need to know about buying, investing, and living in iconic ski towns like Breckenridge, Frisco, and Keystone. From mountain real estate trends to investment opportunities, we bring you on the inside to help you make the most of your mountain life.
Welcome to the Ski Summit Real Estate Show. I am Matt Dayton, your host, and I'm here with Benji, my producer. Thanks for being here, Benji.
How do you do? Good to be here.
How do you do, man? So that was a pretty cool video we just watched of Mikaela Shiffrin just killing the field.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like, you're going downhill on skis. Everybody in that field is probably going to be like really dialed in. She crushes them by almost a second and a half.
So smooth. So yeah, that was pretty incredible. So they're going to be next World Cup for women where you can watch her compete again is going to be in Canada. So that's coming up in Canada. And then actually this coming weekend, so the 4th through the 7th is the men's downhill Super G and giant slaloms. So that's going to be in Beaver Creek. So people can go, you can actually go watch these things live if you're in Colorado. I mean, Beaver Creek's an hour and a half from Denver. So you can come and check that out. So Friday, December 5th is going to be the men's downhill. Incredible, crazy, scary course. Like I've gotten on this course and just skied the run, and the run is just, it's so steep. It's so steep, and these guys are just flying down it. So Saturday will be Super G, and then Giant's going to be on Sunday. So
I've got to be honest with you. In my head, I picture you going down the black slopes all the time, just like, what?
Not these ones, and they're like icy. These guys
really?
got to have razor blade sharp edges.
Wow.
So,
yeah, see, there's so many things in this sport that I have no idea about.
It is a pretty incredible sport. So speeds, like crazy speeds. So, but it's pretty fun to watch. They're coming over these knolls, big, like jumping 100 feet, just flying.
That scares me to death to even think about. What I love most about this story for her is that she gets to do it at home. That is so cool. Like she's from this area.
Yeah, did it at home in front of everybody. I mean, heck, my brother-in-law's her parents' dentist. So it's like you got people that she knows, locals.
Wow.
There's nothing like, I got to compete in World Cup in Steamboat Springs, and that was where I had my best 2 competitions in World Cup, a 5th and a 6th, and like that home field and like people and that was pretty awesome feeling.
Yeah, that's got to feel great.
Yeah, so pumped for her. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So what do we got going on in the news for real estate?
Well, in the news, we're warning landlords because the law seems to be changing.
Yeah, Law Dog is changing things up a little bit here. So the Colorado new habitability rules is what we're looking at right now. So if you are a landlord, and I think this is probably more related to long-term rentals, which coincidentally, they're trying to get more long-term rentals and more affordability for long-term rentals. I think this is going to actually achieve the opposite because there's a lot of landlords in Colorado that are like, I'm not so sure I want to be a landlord in Colorado.
Right.
But that said, if you do own rentals in Colorado, that you want to be aware of this. If there's health and safety issues with the property, you got mold, you got active leaks that might be causing some of those mold issues. One of the things that actually is a really big deal for up here that people need to be aware of is radon levels.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's actually like considered like a gas. And radon, high levels of radon, easy to mitigate. Going to cost you a few $1,000s, but definitely something that could kick in this 24-hour notice of habitability. So you got to be making sure that you have good paper trails, good lines of communication for that 24-hour notice.
Yes, they have lots of language in here about communication.
There is lots of language about communication. And like if you have a property management company and the front desk gal gets an email about it, like she's got to know that just kicked in the 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you got to be on it and start doing something about it right away. There's punitive damages. You get sued for triple the cost if there's any, if they could prove like there's any retaliation, like you've raised the rent after you did repairs or something like that. What else? So on the radon piece, pretty, like I said, pretty easy to mitigate, but that could kick that in. You'd have to provide alternative housing if it wasn't habitable for folks. So it can get really expensive.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
I was
probably
talking about it like being this thing where we don't create a situation where there's slumlords and stuff like, but I don't see that happening out there.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some, but it's like, yeah, everybody's got to kind of by these rules. And so that said, best practices, get an inspection a couple times a year, make sure that there's just not anything that's going to come up. If you got a leaky pipe that's going to cause mold, if you got higher levels of radon, it'll just save you a lot of money if you're proactive in making sure that you take care of these items up ahead before you get a new tenant. Because if they moved in and they tested for radon and it's over 4.0 picocuries, then that could trigger this habitability thing. And that's pretty common to have it over 4. My house was 28 when I bought it, and they mitigated it.
I don't want to get off on a whole thing about radon.
Huge levels. It was 28, but they mitigated it, and it's like, not even 1. It's fine now. But yeah, so keep that in mind. Check out, what was this website?
This was colorado.public.law, and it has statutes in there. I'll have the link in the description so people can go and check it out. They can read it just like I can.
Yeah, tons of information there, but definitely worth being aware of. So
yeah. All right. Well, that takes us to our market in a minute, and you're going to show us what's on the screen. I'm going to get my head out of the way.
So we got a little bit market pricing. We're going to take a look at that. We actually saw kind of for November a pretty significant drop here. We were up at $1,250,000 for the median sales price. This is kind of looking at the Summit County area here. So we got Summit County pulled up, and then we saw 1.1, 850. So I wanted to dive into that a little bit, just kind of share where that's coming from and why we're seeing that. So if we look at this chart here, this is all the sales in Summit County for the past month. So we're jumping in here. We had, what did we see? 132 sales, and there were 115 of those. The majority of those were all under $1 million. So we just saw a lot more of the under $1 million sales than we saw of the real high end. Even these up, up through page 5 on this, $1,295,000 was the highest. And then
does it say what kind of a transaction it was? Like, if are the cash buyers? Are they starting to trickle off, or what is this?
We typically, or lately, we've been running around 40% for cash buyers. So still a lot of cash buyers. I think maybe as rates improve, we're going to see that shift a little bit. But 35-40% is usually kind of where we hover. So when things were going with COVID and rates were super low, even when people had the cash, they were borrowing the money. It just made a whole lot more sense. So yeah, our highest price sale was this place in Hills Ranch subdivision, $4,674,000.
That's a huge house.
Just gorgeous, like on the river. I've actually been in this house. I was in this house back in, it would have been 2016, and it sold for $2,750,000 then.
Goodness.
Yeah, so like double.
That house is like living in a painting. That is so cool.
It's just really pretty. You got just this
huge
logs right on the river. Yeah.
That is such a lifestyle.
Pretty cool, huh?
Incredible.
Yeah. It's over 20 acres, so it's a big piece of property. Two garages on either side. Yeah, really gorgeous. So
it is, yeah.
So anyway, that was your highest price sale, and kind of gives us a little bit of an idea as to why we saw these drop down. That was all the rest of those sales were definitely more in the sub-million or around $1 million. So this is kind of what we're seeing there.
Very cool. I always like looking at those houses. I can't believe those exist, and then I get to see them, and I'm like just gobsmacked. I don't know what.
I feel so fortunate, like in this business, to be able to go and see some of these homes. I mean, you drive by these places and you're like, wow, I wonder what that place is like. So
Oh, yeah.
it's one of the fun parts about this job, and just going out. I mean, brokers will do broker open houses for these properties and feed us. Yeah,
Feed us.
so yeah, but it's pretty fun job when you get to check those out.
All right. Well, that moves us into our listing of the week. This week we're focusing on, I guess, it's a condo.
Yeah, so these are fun little condos in Frisco. They're lofts is what they are basically, and they are right in the heart of everything. So Basecamp Lofts and Studios is what these are called. So yeah, you got just this very efficient living style. This one is, what is it? It's 595. It's 590 square feet.
Yeah.
But just like, I think that the focus here is like, you want to be in the heart of it. Shops, restaurants, lifestyle, skiing, keeping life simple. And just get out there and play.
Yeah. If I could stand the snow, this is the one I'd pick to live in, I think. I love it.
You're right there close to this I-70 corridor, so quick shot to Copper, get over to Keystone. You're in central located Breckenridge skiing. You know, backcountry skiing's your thing, or cross-country skiing's your thing. You got it right close by. So, and then a really good brewery right there in that little area. So you got Whole Foods Market right there. You've got the brewery right there. You've got coffee shop right across the street.
Like a shopping center here.
Yeah, you got a whole shop. You got Walmart down there, City Market, Safeway. It's all very convenient. So yeah, you could.
Yeah, you can just leave and walk around this lake and then go get something and come back. This is perfect.
Go to Whole Foods.
The whole page. You better bring your own bags.
Yes, you do have to bring your own bag. That's a rule here. Yeah. So, but yeah, pretty
spot. I love it.
Yeah, and just very clean. Oh, and they do have these new units here that are heating and air conditioning units. So these will have AC in them.
Yeah, I think I see the split right here on the roof.
Which that is one thing, those windows are south facing. You're not going to have a lot of cross ventilation in these, so that actually is probably a pretty good thing in one of these.
I like it a lot.
And they build these things so tight.
And this is new construction, right?
New construction. So this one's a full market value. There's some deed restricted ones. So if you're local, you live here, there's some studios for starting at like 360. So you got some options there. So those are pretty cool.
I might go bug my sister and you. That could be fun.
No, dude, do it. So, well, cool. That's all we got for today. So thanks so much for joining us for the Ski Summit Real Estate Show. Hope you found this information useful. Please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. But either way, appreciate you being here, and we hope to see you in the mountains soon. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
See you later.